Hello, welcome to lesson number 3. Lesson number 3, we dive into actual ethical concerns. So hopefully in the first 2 lessons, we established what ethics is, morality, values, facts versus assumptions, those type things, and making sure we have a really good grasp of, foundational grasp of those items is just so important. It's easy to gloss over the foundation when we build a house, but it's the foundation the house rests on and resides on for years afterwards. So our course is getting to that part where we've spent a couple of weeks with the foundation. Now we are moving on to some of the most common ethical concerns that society faces today. And lesson number 3 talks about human life. What is human life? What is the beginning of life and the ending of life? And if we, as a society and individuals, have rights to, what rights do we have to terminate life early or late in our lives? Basically, the chapter is beginnings and endings. What I do want to ask folks to do is take an open mind with all views. If your stance, ethical stance, cannot sustain the conversation and consideration of the opposite view, then in true liberal arts form, then your view isn't very strong and you really don't know what you believe. If you're unwilling to have a conversation with other individuals who do not believe as you believe, who may see the world a little bit differently, and you're unwilling to have that conversation, then that's a sign that you may need to strengthen your belief cycle and your ethical approach, and make sure that you are on a solid foundation. Entertaining the ideas of others does not mean that you have to accept those ideas, or that the expectation is you change your mind. But one of the basic foundations of a tolerant society, one that's open-minded, is that we listen. And we are not afraid to listen to the views of others and listen to the ethical foundations of others and be willing to have a true conversation and debate about those merits and not take those conversations and debates at a personal level. Because many times, especially in this region, if we talk with other individuals about particular topics that may be near and dear to our hearts, we take offense, personal offense, if they do not agree with us. Well, it's much less about the person, to be honest, than we're willing to admit. And it's much more about our individual ability to think through a particular circumstance or situation and be able to justify why we believe what we believe based on the information at hand. So we will be talking a lot about beginning of life issues, end of life issues, and we will be reading additional resources outside of our textbook and other videos as well that must be considered as part of this conversation. Again, many times I may share with you what I believe about these topics if it's relevant, and I believe that if I believe it will help the class with a different perspective. Many times I will not. Please don't infer in either of those circumstances you have to believe similarly or identically to my beliefs or those beliefs of your fellow students or anyone else. But what I do ask you to do is to take a chance and be willing to participate in the conversation, because honestly, this conversation is happening every day, all around you, with or without you, and you had just as well learn skills and implement the level of confidence you need to participate in the conversation and bring the conversation along, because what you believe and your perceptions are just as important as anyone else's if they are based on solid foundation and or shared in a respectful manner. again, I hope, I think you will enjoy this lesson. This lesson, things begin to pick up for lesson number 3, and we can begin applying some really, really serious societal issues that we are attempting to face to our own lives in consideration and thinking. Again, as I have said before, the purpose of education is not necessarily to find the answers, but to ask better questions. And this is where we start asking better questions. Take care.